Hello, people of the internet. My name is Adam Summers. I'm here with my classmates making a video on communication tools used in the classroom. It's for our instructional technology class at Stockton University. Just a brief introduction. This is Morgan Borndran. She will be discussing Google Hangouts. This is Tyler Lavender, and he will be discussing Twitter. And I myself am Adam Summers, and I will be discussing Skype. So let's get this started, and we'll go to Morgan to tell us a little bit more about Google Hangouts.
Hi, I'm Morgan again, and I'll be talking about Google Hangouts. I've researched some teachers that are using Google Hangouts in the classroom today, and I thought I would show you guys some of the examples that I found. Okay. So the first example that I found was in Hastings, Minnesota. It was Mrs. Black's second grade classroom, and Mrs. Black had used Google Hangouts to communicate with another second grade classroom in the U.S., where both classrooms participated in a guessing game of where each other's classrooms was located within the country. Mrs. Black and the other teacher had their students prepare questions on the other classroom's whereabouts, things like the state flag, bird, flower, and local wildlife, both giving simple hints but not giving away their location. Each class studied maps to figure out their mystery classroom's location. At the first meetup, both classes had concluded on the state of them were located in. For the second meetup, Google Hangout, classes prepared more questions for one another to find out what city or town they live in. After both classes discovered what city or town they lived in, each class comprised a list of their local traditions and hobbies. Things like their local fairs, what many of them do in their free time, how they spend their summers, community holidays, favorite places to eat, and other things that has to do with their town or city. In the end, both classrooms taught each other about their state, town, or city, and local traditions through a simple Q&A session using Google Hangout. The second example that I found was through the Edible Schoolyard Project. It is my personal favorite. This is Edible Education 101. This corporation invites students and teachers to participate in classes at their different facilities around the U.S., but they have also reached classrooms around the country through Google Hangout. Their mission is to teach students on how they can create a garden full of healthy plants for their school. They relate this to nutrition as well as the anatomy of planning and environment. This plant-based instruction and edible instruction is a successful school model addressing state standards and wellness and readiness for students. In Columbus, Ohio, a teacher and her class experienced a Google Hangout with the Edible Schoolyard Project to learn about writing grants, raising funds, building gardens, planting seeds, preparing the soil, harvesting, teaching, and assessing for their own school garden. After the Google Hangout, the class had used what they had learned to write grants and raise money to start their own garden. They can use this garden to produce healthy fruits and vegetables that they can eat and share with their school. Studying nutrition, plants, and environment in science classes, grant writing and literature class, production, costs, and math class, and simple cooking skills in the classroom. This is a great way for distant companies to reach out to multiple schools at a given time. By broadcasting a single Google Hangout, multiple schools can view it at the same time, and they are able to participate within the Hangout by asking questions, and these questions are able to be answered through the simple Q&A capability on Google Hangout. So I thought those two examples were really interesting and really cool ways of showing how Google Hangout is used in classrooms around the country. And now Tyler's going to talk about Twitter.
All right. Well, as Morgan just said, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Twitter and how it's used in the classroom. And to start my two examples, I have basically storylines in the classroom. So we have tweeting a story. This is great for editing skills and story structure. You can start off with any genre, fairy tale, sports story, or adventure, and give it a standard story opener and tweet with using using a hashtag that your teacher gives you to use, so you can follow the story and then edit it and make it into an actual coherent story throughout the school year. This was done by Heidi Kalma. She teaches 11th and 12th grade instructional technology resource at a tech and career school in Virginia Beach. Her students create a character Twitter account, so they create a specific Twitter directly for their stories. And what they do with those, they also focus them on the main events in the story, the plot, the setting, and the text will also refer to the students to creating their own fiction-based ideas and the knowledge of a specific writer, say Edgar Allan Poe in the time period, and different characters of different fiction-based novels. And then we also have Mr. Dan Reeves, who's an 8th grade teacher. He never specified exactly where his location is, but what he does with his students is he will use Wordle and Twitter at the same time. So one of the students, if they have a question about like a certain word, say angry, the student will tweet that word out, and then other students in the classroom will tweet synonyms and antonyms of the word angry, such as aggressive or crazy or insane. And then they will come in the next day in the class and use the Wordle, which is a word generating tool, to create posters that they then hang up in the classroom. And each time they do this, it just generates more and more, so that each student will eventually have an extensive vocabulary. And that's kind of cool because it builds upon prior knowledge that they've already had. And those are my two examples of how to use Twitter in the classroom. And now we'll shoot it over to Adam, who will talk to you about Skype.
All right, great. Thanks, Tyler. I'm just going to give you guys a little brief synopsis of Skype. If you don't know, it's video calling that uses Wi-Fi. It's free for any of the users as long as you're using a computer. If I make a Skype call, like say to a cell phone or a landline to anywhere in the world, you have to buy Skype credits, so that's the only downfall. It kind of costs a little bit of money to do it that way. But if you can use your laptop, say, across the globe in China, and I could be here in the United States using my laptop, and we can still reach out through video. The two examples that I have are, one example is a 10th grade mock trial students from Bishop Lynch High School in Dallas, Texas. They went to New York City to do their mock trial. Coincidentally, while they were there, Superstorm Sandy, which was a big event, weather event in our area, New Jersey, New York area, was hitting that weekend that they were there. So all their flights got canceled from going back to Dallas. And their teachers had noticed their students using Skype to contact their parents and just show them a little bit about the storm and how the city was preparing and how it was on lockdown. So one of the teachers decided, instead of missing class, because this was on a Sunday when the storm was hitting, and they would have missed school on Monday and possibly Tuesday. So what the teachers did instead, they gathered all the students into a room, and they used Skype to contact back to Dallas, Texas on Monday, and were able to continue with the classroom exercises in somewhat of a fashion. But basically it was just to show what this historical event, weather event, was like to the students back in Dallas. My second example is of Amy Rosenstein. She teaches 3rd grade at Concord Elementary School in Ardsley, New York, and she uses Skype for geography lessons. And she reaches out to countries like all over the world: New Zealand, Russia, China. She's even reached out to Poland And some of the things that her students do, since it's third grade class, they're just trying to see what the world has to offer and what other cultures have to offer. So her students will bring in different cultural artifacts from the United States, say cheeseburgers or whatever, and then if she's speaking with a student in Poland, they might bring in like a Polish sausage or something along those lines, or any type of cultural artifact. One of the examples was a burqa from a Middle Eastern subject, and they may even bring in possibly like a glass mug from Germany or something along those lines, if that's like popular in that country, or whatever they're into making or crafting, and it just kind of broadens the students' horizons to what else is out there in the world, and lets them see outside the classroom walls. So I guess that'll conclude our introductions of each of the communication tools. Now we just kind of have to discuss as to which we think is our best or most effective communication tool. So Morgan, which one would you say is the most effective in using in the classroom?
After kind of thinking about it, no offense, guys, but I think Google Hangout is the best out of the three. I think it's just a really good way for students to have a visual communication in the classroom. It's just like a different way to go about it, So that's my favorite.
All right, Tyler, what would you say is the most effective tool, your favorite to use in the classroom?
Off of what Morgan said, I'd have to agree. Google Hangouts probably the best way to do it, because even though Twitter's like a nifty way to ask questions to your professor and to get like story ideas out there and work on vocab, you could still do all that with Google Hangout, and you have a visual. You could have slideshows, or you could have a video presented and screen shared, and you can also do like Excel spreadsheets if you're into math or science or something like that. And it has a question and answer, so that could act like Twitter. So that's why Google Hangout to me is the best way. It's the way to go. How about you, Adam?
All right, great. Thank you. I hate to make all three of us agree for argument's sake. I mean, it would be nice to have a little debate, but I agree as well with both Tyler and Morgan that Google Hangouts is probably the most user-friendly. A lot of people use Google products. They're free, and plus you can import documents and, like you said, presentations. It just is the most user-friendly and easy for teachers to use, and it's probably globally recognized by many users. But yeah, so I think we'd have to say that Google Hangouts is our winner in today's discussion. So thank you, folks, for joining, and we hope you enjoyed. And this is our resource page, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment. So thank you.